Hello, everyone. It is Kenyon here. It is Basketball Rewind, and I am here right now to talk to you about a couple things. We're going to get into the Raptors week, a look at the week ahead. But there was a couple other topics that I wanted to get into. We're going to just start with Raptors stuff, just get that out of the way, and then go to the other stuff. So, in terms of Raptors land, Raptors played a couple games this past week. And they play three more this week. It's kind of been like a slow-paced comeback into, like you're not seeing like 4 or 5 games as sometimes you see. It's rare to see 5 game weeks, but you do see them here and there. But this week was a little bit interesting. It was you had some good games and you had some bad games. So if I'm not mistaken, as it stands as it is today. We had games against the Bucks, the Thunder, and the Spurs, and the Washington Wizards. They basically went 500 this week, more or less, in a very interesting manner. I think the Bucks game, they started off slow and kind of felt their way into the game, and kind of, after a while, because it was basically Cam Thomas versus the Raptors, and you knew that that's not enough firepower, to beat the Raptors. Then they played the Thunder, and that was a very interesting game. A lot of people came out of that game saying, you know what, like the Thunder are a championship team, and this and that, and Brandon Ingram hogs the ball too much, blah 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 blah. And the way that I look at it is this way: the Thunder are a championship team, but they were missing their best 2 players. So you were basically playing the B squad. It was Case and Wallace, who I love, by the way, and who's fought his way. Wallace. Yeah, but he's had to fight his way through that rotation. I mean, you say Grady has a tough time getting minutes and stuff like that.
No. Yeah, Case and Wallace.
And not only that, he actually has thrived. Because that is not a very easy rotation to crack.
True. But they gave him opportunities. What I'll say in this case here, he got fairly
not as consistent as Grady. Actually, Grady has actually played every single game this year except for starting this week. This is one of the first games that he did not play in this week. So Darko's obviously shortening the rotation for the playoffs. But yeah, he's surprisingly, Case and Wallace has had to, because he also actually had to go into the G League as well. Obviously, the whole G League system is different, but yeah. What I will say, though, is Case and Wallace got to the rim a lot, and Case and Wallace ran that offense and did it at a very good rate. And I believe it was, I have to go back to each game, but I believe that game was the one where, we started off well, everyone thought, okay, we got control of the game. And all of a sudden, the second and third quarter happened, and it was 35 points, 38 points for OKC. And that was the game. And it's like, even if you basically had, you ramped up the defense in the fourth quarter, and as OKC was you could tell their offense was really slowing down. And in the fourth quarter, it's just, you can't, when you give 2, 35 plus point quarters in a row, it's really tough to come back from that. You really, not impossible, but very, 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 very tough. Very tough. You really got a hill to climb, especially when that's in the middle of the game. Shout out to them. And I just thought, yes, I do feel that the Raptors have a habit of over-relying on Brandon Ingram, but I think it's important to talk about why that is, right? So in a game like that, where, yes, Darko has made some bad decisions in terms of when he's pulling guys out, or, not starting the fourth quarter with his best 2 players. The challenge, I am not defending Darko here. What I'm saying is that the Raptors do have a challenge because Brandon Ingram does a lot throughout the game, and he needs someone offensively to come along for the ride with him and being able to get their own offense comfortably. There was times in that game, and we'll see if I put it on screen or not, but there was times in that game where I saw Scottie Barnes give up wide open threes, pass it over to quickly, and then get it back, and then his man had closed out. Like, you have to let it fly. I get it that you're shooting what is it, 29% or whatever this year, up from 27% last year from deep. Okay, I get it. Defenses aren't respecting you. You got to make them respect you. One of the games, I can't remember if it was that one or if it was the one. I don't think he even got to the line a single time.
Checking here. Let's see. What did he do?
One time. And we haven't gotten to the Spurs yet. But yeah, one time. He got to the line one time. And against the Spurs, he got to the line 0 times. That's not enough from the team's best player. And I will say best because in terms of his two-way play, yes, I do believe that Scottie Barnes is the best player on this team overall. And then you have Brandon Ingram going to the line in the Spurs twice. And again, like Brandon Ingram is what he is, but also Brandon Ingram, I get it that he's relied upon now on this team to rebound a lot more and stuff like that, which has changed a bit of his game. But the thing is that if you're getting 22 shots and stuff like that, like these guys got to be more efficient at getting their offense overall and getting each other involved. And the Raptors, and it does start with the coach on down, they have to figure out a way to get those two guys running into actions more consistently together. I know that they like Scottie's on the low block, dribble, find, pound, and then like kick it out to Ingram. That's not always going to be the best play. Sometimes you just got to run pick and roll with those guys. You got to figure it out. Well, your thoughts? Oh, of course, they won against the Wizards as well. By the way.
Yeah, there's a lot going on there. I'll use the old Dennis Green quote, the old Vikings, Arizona Cardinals coach, where he had the rant after a loss. It was one of the great rants, actually, of all time in sports, with the Bears, and they choked away a game against the Bears. He says, I'll just repackage it. I'll say the Raptors are who we thought they were. Okay, that's exactly what this week said. Because when we played against the big boys, we saw what was going down. And those free throw stats, to me, is some of the most important stats to discuss in this discussion. Because when you play against real defenses, which you will see in the playoffs, you ain't get no charity stripe. And put it this way, it's going to get way more physical. So that means you got to earn that whistle.
Well, that's the thing, right? Like, is that there's a lot of teams right now that are honing in on what their playoff rotation looks like, what their playoff offense looks like, what their playoff defense looks like. And a lot of the teams that you're playing into the end of this season, they are, how do I put it? Like, they are able to, because the teams have scouted you. Teams kind of know generally how to beat the Raptors. But the thing is not all of those teams, like the Wizards, for example. The Wizards started off really well, but the problem is that they couldn't keep up with it, and they don't have the discipline as that young team to be able to execute that scheme for 48 minutes. And that's going to become key, right? We play in this upcoming week, we play the Knicks and the Wolves, and then we play the Mavs on Sunday. And then if you extend it out one more game, for example, you're going to look at the Rockets. That's a tough slate of games coming up. And those teams are going to be more ready to actually execute their scheme throughout a 48-minute period, whether it be because of coaching or even just a personnel standpoint. And so you're going to have to find ways to win, and to win when it's gritty and win in a rock fight. And I know some people think that we can. I don't know if we can consistently. So, yeah.
Well,
you can give everyone the business if you want, by the way, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing to give the business to. I mean, this is kind of what I've come to expect. I mean, I think I tweeted out the other night when they were down 18 to San Antonio, when they were up, I think they're up, they were
up in the San Antonio game.
By double digits. And
yes, the Raptors have lost the most amount, they were number 2 next to Miami. Of being up by double digits in the starting the fourth quarter and blowing it. They were in the third quarter. They had 31 to 21, and basically that was reversed, and the Spurs won by 3. Now I give the Raptors their due. Give Colin Murray-Boyle his due. That in the first 3 quarters they essentially held Wemby to a very, very low scoring game. I think in total, Wemby had he had like 12 points that game.
Yeah, I mean, but once all said and done, like you could see, I think at one point I tweeted out, it's like watching a car crash in slow motion. You know it's coming. Like you can see it coming. And I'm sitting there watching, like, okay, this is about to go down. I can see when San Antonio decides to rev it up. Here's the scary part: if you're a Raptors fan,
Mm-hmm.
I don't really think that was definitely not San Antonio's A game. Obviously, not
No,
OKC's A game.
no.
That wasn't their B game. That was like their C game. And like you still got beat, right? And Detroit was out there toying with you before the All-Star break because everyone forgets about that game, right? Like Detroit was out there toying with you, and it was like, okay, let me put some light work here for 3 quarters, Cade said, and call it a day. So when you're playing against real teams, like we're at a point right now where it's like it's pretty obvious then they're not in the right league and caliber at the moment, and beating Washington does nothing for me. It's like, okay, whatever. I mean,
by the way, for those who wanted TJD to get into the game, he did in the Spurs. He played 1 second. There you go.
There you go. Someone had there for a bet, maybe. I don't know.
I mean, like, here's the thing about like that sort of thing, right? Like, obviously, the center rotation is going to be a challenge. Pirtle is actually getting healthy. He played in the Washington game, but he's not able to play every single game. I mean, I believe the Spurs and the Thunder and the Spurs game were back to back, and they basically rested him for the Thunder game and played him against the Spurs.
I think they played the Spurs. They were blowing out Toronto.
Sorry, he did play against the Spurs.
Yeah, but he played limited minutes. Let's put it against the Spurs. Like the matchup,
true.
It was really what CMB was playing Wemby. If they play like a conventional matchup and they put him out there against Wemby go out for 40.
That is true. Now, here's the interesting thing: is that Colin Murray Boyles did not play he didn't play against Washington.
Yeah. I mean, Washington at this point is like it's Washington at this point. I mean, like they did beat them earlier on in the season, but like, yeah. I mean, teams like Washington at this point does nothing for me. I'm not trying to be like.
I guess my point with the Colin Murray Boyles stuff is like I don't know how long he's going to be. Like it looks like he's going to be doubtful, like moving forward for a couple games, and they're trying to get him kind of right, I guess. So the real question is like how much of a concern is that thumb injury, right? Like
when you're biting your towel on the bench, it's a pretty big concern.
That would do it.
I mean, they're like literally the kid was like they're fighting this thing. Like it's like when someone was like gone to war, they're putting they're strapping up the leg.
Oh yeah, that's right. I drink this.
Yeah, that's essentially what was going on there, man. It's like, holy smokes, like what the heck's going on? And when they cut to him, like I don't know, that's not gonna get better till the offseason, man. And right now, it's so sad that it's really sad in some ways that our season's kind of in the balance based on the health of a thumb of a rookie.
We've been relatively healthy too, but after the Thunder game, we had Darko was asked about. His thoughts basically, what happened in the second and third quarter. And he said, I don't know.
That's the most accurate answer that he gave all year.
he don't lie. But although that doesn't mean that he ain't wrong. So it does. But the other thing is that after the Spurs game, he basically made a comment that he is satisfied. Yes. But not happy or something like that. It's some weird thing, and the media did not like that.
Fans and media going out of their mind. But hey, here's the pizza party, guys. He's consistent. Whatever you want to say, he's consistent. This is what you asked for.
We'll see. I mean, I don't know. Some people ain't built for this. I'll just be straight, right? Like a nice man, but he ain't built for this. and that type of mentality makes a team soft too. No offense, but yeah. So you come at me where I really don't care.
I tell you, Grady really wasn't playing bad boy to really piss him off, man, because it pretty much he gave everybody a chance.
Yeah, that's right. TJD got in the game for Grady. But I mean, yeah, that's a whole other thing. I think the Raptors really have to get back on track as tough as it is going to be this week. Like they really got to get back on track.
Schedule like this week, man. What's the Murderers Row look like this week?
Yeah, well, I mean, I just said it right. Like you got the Knicks, the T Wolves. It's There's technically 3. There's also the Mavs. So I think that they get the Mavs because your man's out.
You escape.
Yes.
They escape. They escape.
In some ways, yeah. Because to be perfectly honest, I mean, early on in the season, that was a shellacking.
He was
but yeah, man, he was dunking. that was nice.
Honestly, that was his come out party. Actually, he was kind of like at that time still feeling his way. That's the guy's like, oh, okay, this is what it could look
like. This dude was like literally like flying through. Like you ever see a guy fly in the air so long that like his jersey like kind of flaps and ripples behind him? That's how it was like one of those where he just comes up.
That second half, man. There was like 2 of him out there. Like seriously, he was everywhere.
He's a man possessed. It must be nice.
Yes, I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Anyways, but yeah, I think the point that I'm trying to get to here is that overall, I think that the Raptors they can get back on track. For those of you who want to be more optimistic, they can. But this week is going to be crucial, and we got to be serious about that. We got to be honest about that. That this week is going to be crucial, and every single week is going to be crucial because you're going to be facing a lot of teams that are going to be jockeying for a position. However, with that being said, the Raptors have bought themselves a little bit of wiggle room. They have a 2-game lead up on the 76ers. The 76ers are hot on their tail with 3 wins, a 3-game win streak.
I think actually they cut back. I think it's a game and a half now.
Well, I'm looking right now, and they have 33 wins. So unless they have 34 wins, I can check on NBA.com. But unless they have 34
wins, but they're 1.5 games back.
Oh yeah, because of the amount of games that each team has played.
A game and a half back, and I mean, I don't know what Philadelphia's schedule looks like this week.
I think also you want to know why? Because Philly, if they match our wins, they've beat us already. Right? Or because I think we've split the season series so far. However, while splitting the season series, if I'm not mistaken, Philly has also, I think. Well, they have more conference wins, but also the point differential, if it comes down to that, like their win against us was more pronounced than us coming back against them or vice versa, right? I think we will do. I think if I'm remembering it incorrectly, like they won, we won the first game. The Empire struck back with the second game, and it came with one hell of a vengeance.
Well,
because our win was like a comeback win too, right?
Yes, exactly. It was like I mean, I guess
Embiid is out, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, these days they're playing pretty well with or without him. Honestly,
he's been a part-time player. I don't mean but it's true. They've been really matching. Now it's not a leg injury; it's an oblique. So you're looking on in this area kind of a thing. It's a little lower actually, and on one of the sides. But that's beyond the point. Not here to do a whole anatomy lesson. Let's get into the second part of it because I think we've kind of talked about the Raptors. I think the most likely chance for the Raptors is they end up in the 6th spot. That's what I will say. Just in terms of games and who can catch and what's gonna, because it never goes the way that you think it's gonna go, but it never always goes all the way the other way. So I think they're probably going to be a playoff team. They're probably going to get the 6th seed. And someone below them, whether it's Philly or someone else, will probably catch them, which would put them as of today, as the Knicks and the Celtics are both kind of jockeying for their position. It's going to put you essentially against the Knicks or the Celtics.
Good luck with that. Okay.
Hey, it is what it is. Hey man, people ask for this. So Phil Jackson has a saying, and he's basically talking about contenders. His whole point is that the biggest and most real contenders year over year are those that win 40 wins before they lose 20. There are, I believe, 3 teams that qualify for that this year. For the record, this is actually, I wouldn't say it's scientifically proven or anything like that, but over the past 19 years, 18 of the teams that qualify for that, except for one. So it's 19 years, 18 have done this. The one that didn't was the Detroit Pistons. Most of those teams that have qualified for that rule have won the championship, including the Raptors, by the way. Your thoughts on let's go through the teams actually. So obviously the Detroit Pistons are actually one of the teams. They have 44 wins, 14 losses. So still not at 20 losses. OKC Thunder, of course. 46 wins, 15 losses, and San Antonio Spurs 43 and 17. And that is actually it. The Boston Celtics technically could be it. However, they just reached 20 losses recently. So, had they been the other way, they would have been around 40 and 20. Right now, they're 39 and 20.
Yes, yeah, instead of 40 and 20 and 19.
Yeah. If you want to, have an exception to the rule, you could put Boston in because Tatum's coming back.
Well, this is the reason. This dovetails perfectly why I posted last week in my podcast. I had 3 big questions. What were the 3 big questions I had? 1, what's Tatum's impact going to be when he comes back? There's your Celtics part in this case here. 2, who's going to get the top spot? You mentioned this case here, the 3 teams I thought had a chance to win the whole overall record. The third question I had was the Spurs. How far can they go? Can they actually reach the finals? So in a way, I've heard Phil Jackson mention this after you mentioned offline. It's like, oh yeah, I've heard him talk about this type of thing before. But my questions speak to his point. All 3 of my questions were related around the same 4 teams we're discussing. You want to throw Boston in there? It was, nobody else I spoke about is the 3 big questions coming out. It was essentially top spot, which meant OKC, Detroit, and probably San Antonio's outside shot. Is Boston coming back, and how far could the Spurs go?
So you're in the West. You're not counting T-Wolves.
I think one of those teams can make noise, but I put it this way: it's like when the Williams sisters used to play. You get past one of them, you're not getting past both of them.
I mean, right now as it stands, I mean the T-Wolves would be playing Denver, which would be a bit of a rematch. That would be a
rematch, right? I would expect Minnesota to win probably in that match based on how they've set up those 2 teams. But but if you get a second and third round, you might run into San Antonio in the second round.
San Antonio would be facing Phoenix, just as it's standing here today.
So San Antonio takes care of business, and then you're going to have to deal either them. If you're 4 or 5, you're dealing with OKC likely.
And then there's another rematch. This is why the West is going to be fun for their first round, which is Houston versus LA.
Right. Yeah.
A lot of rematches.
Houston-LA rivalry is always interesting in playoff form. So, I mean, that's always interesting. As my dad and I always say, Houston's always the one franchise that don't fear LA, no matter what decade it is.
Yes.
They don't care. So, I mean, I think really what's said and done, like, it does end up being kind of your top seeds as much as everyone likes to think, oh, you get a surprise one year, like a Miami Heat, like a few years ago that played Denver. Yeah. But it ends up those teams end up kind of coming up short usually. So, unless like the Mavericks that beat Miami that one year, like you get, or the Rockets, you get a few of them once in a blue moon that come around like that. But like, those are the teams in this case. And I think
you're still hoping for your Mavericks to have a chance.
Once I found out what we do with Kyrie, it was a wrap, guys. Like, good. And boy, no one knows how to tank like the Mavericks when we're ready to put our mind to it.
But by the way, New Orleans is won 4 straight. By the way, they don't have a chance at all. But I'm just saying, like they're not like tanking. They're kind of playing spoiler to see what they have. I think.
Yeah.
Because they don't control their own pick.
Well, they don't know, and it's like always comes down to them. Is that can they keep guys healthy, right, for them to play?
Yeah.
And like I'm sure the correlation of their winning streaks is when Zion's played consistently.
Probably, to be honest.
I don't think I got to go heavy on analytics. Safe bet. It's a safe bet. But like, I think to Phil Jackson's point, when it's all said and done, more times than not, that's the group. I think the big questions coming out now is like you have 2 young teams among the 2. Well, technically, OKC's a young team, but they've been there. So you have 2 teams that really haven't had the experience of like going into deep playoff.
And you're focusing on the West right now, of course.
Well, I'm focusing on the Pistons and the Spurs. Right?
Oh, okay.
Teams, right? If you're looking at the teams that are in that group.
I would go more with the Pistons. Sorry, more with the Spurs in this category because the Pistons were there last year. They at least got some playoff experience.
They got some playoff experience.
Spurs don't have any.
No, true. I agree with that.
But like 6 games is, it is not a ton, but it's something, and it's not like you just got rolled over or steamrolled.
No, they were very intense games. It's one of the most physical series actually in the entire playoffs. So I mean, from that perspective, actually, they
were close. It was every game was close. It was not every game, but but overall,
they're telling me twice. Yeah, I know the series. Detroit should win the series.
Yeah, I think the Spurs are gonna be much more interesting because, for example, like right now they'd be playing Phoenix. That's not necessarily a walk in the park for them.
No, it's not.
And I think that like I'm not saying that I'm not here to make predictions on how far just yet. I've got to wait maybe a couple weeks before that. But what I will say is that from a Spurs standpoint, they are a very young team. They have some vets on there, but they're a young team. I mean, one of their top players that has real playoff experience in that starting lineup is Fox, and he doesn't have that much playoff experience himself.
Yeah. But
right?
What he's showing is he's played big in the big moments.
Yes, yeah. He plays big in the big moment. I'm just saying, at the same time,
yeah. I mean, Harrison Barnes, he's been there. He's been in finals.
But he's not in their top 5.
No, true. But he'll be leaned on heavily.
Yes, he will be very important. The other thing, too, is their coach is basically a first-year coach.
That is a key point.
And and he's done really well, and he definitely deserves shine this year. But that's going to be very interesting in terms of how that all comes together and how he is able to kind of manage that. So from that standpoint, on the other side of the bracket, you're right, going to the Pistons, who are a younger team. You could say the Raptors are another young team, but based on how the season series has gone against the different teams in front of them, I mean, if it was today, they'd be playing Cleveland. I mean, everyone's out for Cleveland, funny enough. So we would actually be Cleveland more than likely to actually as of today. But if Cleveland gets healthy, I don't think it's just a walk in the park.
No, I think Cleveland, Toronto are folks that are on the blind date and they're happy to see each other.
Yes. I mean, you talk to Cleveland fans, they definitely feel like they are the most dangerous team in the East.
Yeah.
I don't know if I agree with that.
But Cleveland fans want Toronto. Toronto fans want Cleveland.
Well, unfortunate for them, they Toronto may be the belle of the balls to be fair.
Yeah. I think a few teams were like that. I agree with you.
Yes. So yeah, I mean, I think in terms of Detroit, they definitely need another guy, so to speak. I do think that they are changing their offense a little bit, but so I get why you liked Ivy. Ivy may not have been the correct person long term or whatever for them. So I'm glad that they just made that decision. If they're not believing in it, just move on from it. Mm-hmm. But that's going to be my biggest question is outside of Cade, I don't think it's going to be Tobias Harris. It's going to be stepping up and able to, when things go slow, who can give you like a 28-point night.
This is why you have 2 top 10 picks in this case here. They're going to determine which one of them are going to kind of make a jump, right? Because the first thing, let me put it this way: I think sometimes folks are underselling Duran as the second option.
I'm glad you said because I did that purposefully. Because I wanted to. Because I saw them play. Did they play the Spurs recently, or who did they play recently?
Oh, when they gave the comeback against.
No. They played the Cavs like 2 games ago or a game ago.
Yeah, the Cavs game.
Man, Duran, that man's I don't watch him enough. That man's a beast.
Yeah, Duran's a legitimate second option, so I'm not worried about that. I think to your point,
and he's not a limited center, by the way, either.
No. I think the second is more the thing is who's going to handle the ball handling and make plays off the bounce besides Cade, right? So is that Holland or is that Thompson? And I mean, let's face it, these guys were drafted in the top 10 picks. So they're not guys supposed to be kind of like part-time players. So one of these dudes hopefully will pop. I feel it's going to be Holland myself. I think he's the guy that I think why they feel comfortable moving up Ivy. I think he's the guy that's moving to that direction where I think, say, next year, he's having a bigger role in my opinion.
Yes, I think so because I don't think that Asar is offensively going to be able to punch up in that way. And that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. He has a different role to play, and that's fine. He might be a nice 3rd or 4th option. On a given night, he might give you 20 or 25 on a given night, but he's not that guy. I think Holland is a natural scorer. He's got the mentality that you like to see in playoff times. Because he wasn't back down from no Nick last year. I was like, yo. I can't remember which got into it where almost a little brouhaha happened to the baseline. It's like, okay. I was like, that's my man.
That team is not afraid. I'll put it that way. So, I think that it's interesting. We'll see who comes out of it. But according to Phil Jackson, there's really only 3. I would put the Celtics in there just because with Tatum, they probably would have gotten to 40 wins before 20 losses, definitively. So
I bounced out some games too. So
he did. So I think I would put them as the other team. If all things work out perfectly, where the 1 and 2 seed end up facing each other down the road, I think that would be very interesting as a matchup. I think that's the matchup that both kind of probably want and Celtics to test their mettle against, because I think a lot of times Celtics have had the moniker of they're kind of soft or whatever, so they want to kind of see if they can handle like a Detroit, and then Detroit because yeah. So yeah, I think it's going to be very, very interesting. I did not mention the Knicks just because the Knicks have a really good record, but they are just from a chemistry standpoint and rolling standpoint, they're missing. Yeah, they're a hot and cold team. Like I think that they're gonna be a second round team, and they're gonna have some times, and they're gonna have moments where like everyone's gonna be like, "See, that's what I'm talking about," and then other times where it's like, "Oh." Like, and Knicks fans are gonna on Twitter being like, "This stupid team, Dolan, blah blah blah," yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if they face the Pistons in the Eastern Conference Finals. The reason why is that if they get through their matchup against,
so you think that they're gonna face, because they'd be facing the Celtics in the second.
I think they match up well against the Celtics. And I think that's a problem for the Celtics. Like, that's a team that matches up very well with them. I think Detroit matches up really well with them because right now, I mean, with all due respect to like Pritchard and all the other guys,
and what is it, Queta or something like?
Yeah, them dudes ain't cut it against the Knicks. Like when the time comes, definitely not against Detroit. So I'm looking around here.
No.
Right? I'm looking around here. It's like, okay, they took care of you all last year. Essentially, Tatum got hurt at game 6, essentially, or game 5. But you can see where that series was going even then. So like, Tatum was having struggles at that time again for the most part. Brown was having some issues at that time. So they have the type of personnel that would give Boston trouble. I would just say that much. Now now if they play Philadelphia, that's the problem for them. They may not survive Philadelphia. It's all about
well, that's going to be their potential first round.
That's right. That's why they're probably
watching Cat versus Embiid. That's going to be a great match.
They're probably hoping for anyone else for the Raptors to be the 6th
seed. No doubt. But yeah, so that's what I'm thinking. Any thoughts beyond that?
I mean, it's like we have, I think, officially. We talked about this before. I'm still waiting for you to do the documentary about the Lost Generation.
Yeah. Summer.
Yeah, we've now closed the book because now, based on the teams we're talking about, that generation is gone essentially as threats to win a championship for the most part. I'm not saying Denver doesn't have a chance, but they're not like an overwhelming favor. If they get in, it might be like they got the right matchup one year. But that group, Giannis, Jokic, who else is from that group? I guess the Jays in some ways. Are still kind of the ones hanging on from that group, trying to hold the flag.
Technically, Embiid.
Yeah, Embiid. I said him too. Yeah, Donovan Mitchell.
You might see Embiid have an extension of that because of what happened.
But he's not driving the bus to use Charles
Barkley. No, he is not.
That's what I'm saying. It's the new guard. So I put Maxey and DJ as part of that new guard, where it's like, no, that group is done. So you can start a new group starting from say SGA and back. It's like this is the new guard.
Yes. So yeah, I mean, I agree. We won't get into the Lakers today, but yeah. Any final thoughts before we get out of here?
No, man. I'm looking forward to the sprint for the last 25 games or so. It's gonna be fun, man. That's always nothing like sprint basketball, man.
And I agree with you. If the Raptors are able to stay in that 5th spot, that's probably the best chance for them. Because if you're facing the Cavs, I don't know if James Harden's thumb is going to be ready in time or what. It may or may not.
If it's ready, you don't know about James Harden.
I think James Harden is going to have a chance to prove himself. I'll just say that. Because he has not signed a new contract yet.
No, he has not. But I would say
he has incentive.
Boy, I tell you, man, he has the right type of personnel. If there's ever a time where he can actually flourish in the playoffs, this is the personnel where I think he might have the best opportunity to do so. Yeah.
He has a really good, to your point, he has a good dance partner out there on the perimeter. And sometimes it's nice to have that and a big. That's like, again, what Detroit's missing is they're missing another really strong dance partner with Cade. Out there on the perimeter. It's like with the Raptors, it's like, okay, you have Brandon Ingram. Scottie kind of does everything, but he's more of a post-oriented player. You need someone else out there on the perimeter who's consistent and that can come along for the ride or potentially drive the bus.
Mhm.
But we'll see. I think the Eastern Conference playoffs. I know a lot of people are saying it's going to be boring. I don't know. It really depends on the seeding there. It really just depends on the seeding.
It's interesting. Yeah, I don't think so. It's funny you look at now and you look at the records of each team. All of a sudden, the records have leveled out in the
Yeah,
Western Conference. See, yeah, people are like at the beginning of the season it was like, oh Lord, it's like the the varsity team. It's like versus, and now you look at the records, like, well, they're kind of evened out, guys.
yeah. There's definitely tiers in each conference for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, yeah.
There's those top three teams in each car. Oh, that technically in the West, it's like the top two, and then there's like then they're all like there, but the top two are the top two,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and then in the East, it's like I'd say that there's more of like a top three, although like the Pistons have separated themselves. There's still like kind of like a top three, I think, that have like we're kind of looking to see you at some point in the playoffs. And then there's like another tier down with I think the Cavs are a little bit worse than their record shows. And then we will see what happens. I think that is all. Like, comment, and subscribe, folks, and hopefully you enjoy this. And take care and peace.